So this right here is what your spreadsheet should look like in all its glory. And today we're just going to follow steps for as much as we have time for. So Cynthia, if you could get us started with number 14, I would really appreciate that. So it says make up there. So you're going to do that. You're going to make it up. But I would be surprised if no one in this class was thinking, I have no clue how much this costs. So that means a couple different things. Number one, you can just make up an arbitrary number off the top of your head. It would be more interesting if you spent just a few minutes researching what that might cost. Now, I don't know exactly what these things would cost, but the average price of a hitting lesson, I would probably charge differently for somebody who is 5 years old from somebody who is 18. But I would say the average price, and this would be a half-hour lesson, would be, let's say, I'll give them a good deal, $30. And remember that column is already formatted to dollars, so I don't need to change it. I can just type in numbers. And you would go ahead and do that for each category. So make it up or look it up, but you need to come up with 5 prices, and it's an average price. So if there's different items in that category, you would average it. For instance, for equipment, there's all different pieces of equipment that I'm going to sell, but I included them all in the same category. I'm just going to say that the average price is going to be $50, even though a bat costs a lot more than a helmet. So that's just an average price. So here are all 5 prices for my business and my revenue categories. Mary Jane, would you read number 14 for us? I'm sorry? 15 is what I meant, yes. Good. So this is what it costs you to sell it. So it's the price of production or the price of employment. Like for me, if I'm going to be giving hitting lessons and it's not going to be me giving them, I'm going to have to pay somebody. So let's say I would pay for a younger kid, I could probably pay a high school student to give hitting lessons if I trained him or her really well. So the average cost might be $20. Okay, let's say I paid that person $20 to give that lesson. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good price. I'm guessing for pitching lessons, it might cost me the same amount, but I'm charging more, so I'm actually going to make more money on the pitching lessons. So this is the price that it would cost you to make or sell your product or service. It might be that you're buying that from someone else. You'd call that buying it wholesale, probably. You want to mark all of your products up. I'm going to say, if you want to figure out how much you would buy something for, take the sales price and take away 25%. So that's what I did with or if I would have done pitching lessons. So pitching lessons cost $40. If I take away 25% of that, what is that? If I take away 1/4 of 40, I'm left with what? I would subtract 10, so I'd be left with 30. Yeah. I was probably not communicating my math very well. So that's what you would do for each revenue category. All right, so here's the average cost per unit for all of my categories, and you all have entered those in as well. Ashley, would you be willing to read for us number 16? Thank you.
Sell E4, insert formula equals C4 times C4 to calculate the total sales ratio.
Okay, so it said C4 right here times, and if you're looking for a really easy way to do that, your number pad is on the right hand side. Just above the number 9 is a little star. And you're multiplying that by D4. And you are going to press enter. And there you go. That's pretty simple. So number 17, Brianna, would you be willing to read for us number 17 then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Use the formula to drag down formulas for each category.
Cool. So that means this. You drag this formula down, and it should copy that formula for each of your revenue categories. So that's the amount of money that would come in to your company per year from each of those categories. So per year, I am selling $45,000 worth of hitting lessons. Now that sounds really nice, but be careful. Is that the amount of money I'm actually making? No. That comes in a minute, all right? So let's go to number 18. Matt Stutzman, I know you're ahead of us a little bit, but would you just be willing to read number 18 for us?
Excel G4, insert the formula equals C4 times F4, calculate the total cost of each category.
So now you're doing the same thing, except now we're looking at how much it will cost us to produce each of our revenue categories. So type in that formula. And like I said, I think it's better to actually click instead of just typing them in so you know what you're multiplying. So C4 times F4, because we're figuring out the total cost for hitting lessons or whatever your first category is. So again, you should have your total cost. And then, Jacob, if you read number 19 for us, it's similar to what we just did.
Use the fill handle to drag down the formula for each category of the column.
Good. So you drag that down. And there's your total cost for each category. Then Matt Lamphere, would you be willing to read number 20 for us?
In cell H4, insert formula equals E4 minus G4 to profit for each category.
Good. So equals E4 minus G4. So that's the total sales minus the total cost. So do we want this number to be positive or negative? Yes, we'd really like that to be in the positives because that's the total profit I have made now in each of those categories. So that is the money that you'd be making on that particular category or revenue category item. Good. Then number 21. Max, would you be willing to read number 21? I think you're a little bit ahead of us too, which is fine, but would you read number 21?
Use the fill handle to drag down formula for each category of the column.
Good. There we go. So now we've got our total profit. Now, you probably already know, but I'd like to know which of my categories give me the best profit margin. In other words, which revenue sources make me the most money? So which of those should I push more? Which of those should I advertise more? How can I steer my customers towards the things that make me the most money? So that's what we're going to figure out in this percentage profit column. And Emily, would you be willing to read number 22 for us?
In cell I4, insert formula equals H4 divided by E4 to show the percent of each profit for each category.
Good. So equals. So you're going to take the total profit for that divided by the total sales, and you're going to look at that percentage. So I know that I make 33% on hitting lessons. I knew that was about the number before. All right. Then you could probably already guess what's next. And we're just going to go ahead and do that without reading that particular instruction. So I'm just showing you how to do number 23. And there we go. So you can figure out which of your revenue categories make you the most money. All right, here's number 24. Go ahead, Eric.
Format the sales worksheet with borders and fill colors.
So nothing all that special, but put a border all the way around it. So I'm going to do a thick box border around the outside. There it is. Yeah, so I just highlighted the whole thing, and I used this right here. Screencast here. All right, so we are going to move on to the next page. Get ready for this. So would you read numbers 25, 26, and 27? Hannah, would you read those for us? 25, 26, and 27? I asked Hannah, but do you want to pass?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Marissa. Thank you.
Navigate to the sheet 1.
Mm-hmm.
Rename sheet 1 to budget. Insert a header to student.
Okay, make sure that you capitalize budget. It's going to come into play a little bit later. And then insert. I want you to click in here first, though. Insert header. And don't forget to save. Alexis Amador, would you read number 28 for us?
In cell D3, type jam.
Good. And then would you read 29 as well?
Use the fill handle to fill in the rest of the months across the row.
So it knows that you would like check it out. So you just drag it over. And now I have months.